I want to talk to you about bad biting dogs, what we call in the legal field dog bite cases. Hi, my name is Richard Aufenger. I'm a trial attorney with the law firm of Kalfus Nachman. How do you know if you have a good, viable dog bite case? The answer is it depends on the circumstances of the case. Virginia law does not recognize vicious dog breeds. So just because you're bitten by a dog that falls within that class, let's say Rottweiler or a Pit Bull, does not automatically mean that you have a viable, good case. The owner of the dog has to be negligent. And what does that mean? Well, the owner of the dog has to know or should have known that that dog is likely to bite someone. So if you're bitten by a dog, the first question you have to ask is, who's the owner? Because if you can't find the owner, you certainly aren't going to be able to have a viable case and a recovery. So once you have identified the owner, the next question is there insurance? Because how are you going to get paid? That's a very important question as well. So typically, the insurance is going to be a homeowner's policy because the dog is typically going to be an individual's dog. Now, you may have a dog bite on the premises of a business, and so there may be business insurance, and you're more likely to have insurance in those situations. In Virginia, it's generally recognized that a dog gets one free bite. So if the dog hadn't bitten before, then the owner typically wouldn't know that that dog might bite in this particular situation. So to prove that the owner knew or that the dog had bitten before, what you have to do is do a FOIA request, which is a Freedom of Information Act request. And you send that letter to animal control in the locality where you are on that particular dog. You identify the dog, you identify the owner, and if the dog has bitten before and it's been recorded, you'll find that out. You can also go to the dog's vet. If you're in litigation, issue a subpoena to the vet, and you'll get the vet records. And a lot of times, vets actually identify which dogs are vicious or likely to bite in the chart. And also, if you can't find out any other way, go knocking on doors around the neighborhood. Neighbors know which dogs are vicious. Also mailmen, they know which dogs. In fact, they've charted it as well. When they're delivering mail, they know which dogs are likely to bite. Some localities also have leash laws. And if a dog is roaming at large and unattended in violation of a leash law, that in itself can prove negligence. In my 29 years of trying and handling personal injury cases, I have handled many dog bite cases. The most memorable, unfortunately, involve children because they're unable to protect themselves. And there have been vicious, mauling cases that I have been involved in and obtained significant recoveries that have helped children get treatment they need and even set up annuities for their future. If you have a dog bite case, give me a call. My name is Richard Aufenger with Kalfus Nachman, 1-800-HURTLINE.